watching Silentpinkgamer. Reviews.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do my very best not to tear up. I am so hyper, I'm so hyped. This video is gonna be extremely very different. I just got through watching episode 7. This video is probably come out very soon, guys. I want to give it to you soon, my honest thoughts right when it's fresh. No waiting, no delay. I had to talk about this one. This one hit hard, so I'm gonna do my best not to cry. But guys, if I cry, oh well, I am human. Okay, I am comfortable. I'm in my relaxed clothes. Let's get into it. Let's not wait. Okay, guys, let's not wait. So by the time you're clicking on this video, you should have already seen episode 7. If not, please click off, because there will be spoilers from the jump. Okay, so please click off. When I say my mood is a little different this time around, because we'll get there. So for all the newcomers, hi, I am Silentpinkgamer. I have to say it like that because every time I do captions, it tends to chop up my words pretty bad. So bear with me. So hi guys, I am Silentpinkgamer. Welcome back. We are discussing recap of episode 7 of It. Welcome to Derry. I'm a big passionate horror person. For everybody that's new, I'm very big on horror. Horror is a passion, it's a love. I love it, it's big, okay? So, like I said, let's get into it. I'm sorry. Alright, so episode 7 recap. It starts off where initially we are getting some backstory on Ingrid and her father. Now, we still don't know his name. I thought we would at least get his name. It starts off where we get the performance of Pennywise, the dancing clown. Pennywise, you know, and he's performing. You know, it's cute, the kids love him, laughing. Then it gets kind of questionable because the kids are watching this man talk about somebody, right? We don't know exactly. You know, you can get that he's talking about someone that's passed because the clothes on the bed, there's nobody. He's dancing. A tombstone pops up. He finally gets the flowers and everyone claps, right? It starts getting awkward for the kids. It makes sense because, let's be real, kids don't understand the concept of something like this, like death, really serious. They're there to have fun, to laugh, make memories, not talk about death. Okay, so they were kind of, you can tell in their faces they were thrown back by this. Okay, so from there eventually we get an interaction with Ingrid and her father. You know, he's, you know, taking off his makeup. We're actually getting to see his personality a lot. He seemed like he's a really decent person. He's human, you know. She comes out in her costume that she created, and he calls her his periwinkle. We find out that's her mother's stage name. So apparently her mother died in some way. Don't really go into it, right? So that's some background. So also we find out he was performing, right? He was performing, and now there's a scene that I want to talk about particularly before we get into the interesting part. Is when he was performing and doing his bows and ending the performance after the whole tombstone funeral of Periwinkle, his wife, right? Someone was watching him. A kid in the background was watching him, right? Because he was watching how all these kids stormed his stage, taking off his wig, destroying the set, like really surrounding him, popping balloons, just being obnoxious and annoying, as untamable kids are, right? So somebody was watching him. So when he was, doing another performance, after the performance, he goes out to smoke. He got his wig off. He's chilling, drinking, doing what a human being does. Some strange kid comes out of the forest. Looks very strange and off. And of course he's trying to shoo him away. Because he's on break. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be nice and friendly to you while I'm performing, but other than that, when I'm on break, okay? So, of course, he wouldn't go away. He was like, well, can you help me find my mom? Clearly, he was trying to lure him into the forest. And clearly, come on now, this kid was looking at him looking like, straight face. Everything he said was straight faced. But eventually he was like, well, I can't help you find your parents, I'm on break, basically. So then apparently he does his thing. He makes it sound like somebody is screaming in the forest. And of course he's like, who is that? He's like, oh, that's my mother. So then he comes out over to look, like just kind of at a distance, look into the forest to see if he sees nothing, but it's dark at night, okay? He grabs Ingrid's father's hand and they walk off into the forest. So it gets to a point to where everyone's talking about how he left, he's gone, and something happened, right? So then Ingrid comes out as a child and they hand her father's bloody handkerchief and she cries. So we already know that he was murdered. They think it's wolves, but we all know what happened. That's how he became the infamous Pennywise. He took the silhouette, the person, and his face, he just became him, but he's not him, okay? So then from there we get back to the tragic of the situation. The white men in white masks coming to find Hatchet Hank to put an end to him, okay? So they stormed the place. They said, hey, give us what we want, we'll leave. Then of course all the colored folks in there, all the military at the black spot, that's the name of the man cave, they said, no, we're not doing it. He's not here. You can't search. We're not doing it. Everyone pulls guns. Now, keep in mind that Ronnie, Will, Rich, and Marge is still very much there. So, Hank does something I agree with Halloween at this point. Really stupid. He comes out, says, I don't want nobody to die. Please, just take me. I don't want nobody to get killed. Of course, everyone's screaming and yelling, and Halloween's looking at him like, dude, what you doing? Like, why would you come out? We can handle it, So then eventually they, the group, the men in the mask, like, you know what? No, we don't have to do it this way. We got a different way. We'll leave, okay? We'll leave. So they walk out. They barricade the doors to where they can't escape. They start throwing Molotovs into the black spot. Have no concern about the fact that they saw children in there, right? Now, they did send one of the singers. I knew she was white, but I thought she was just light-skinned or bright-skinned, because we can come out in multiple colors. My daughter is a prime example of that. But so I thought she was biracial. Find out she was actually a white woman singing at the black spot. One of the masked men noticed her and told her to get out before all that popped off. So she escaped. Didn't tell the kids to leave, by the way. So things are closed off. Fire is protruding everywhere. People are coughing. People are scared. People are running. And I'm thinking to my whole self, oh my gosh, grab the kids. Grab the kids. Like, forget anything else. Make sure the babies escape, right? So at this point in time, of course, Pennywise shows up. So this is the big event that's going to put Pennywise to sleep. He shows up. He starts munching on people like candy corn. He munched this woman up so bad, like he was in her face like a plate of soul food. Like, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, being completely blunt. I'm not gonna give it to you anyway. He felt off in this moment. It felt like it didn't fit to me. And I think it was because of the big racist scene between whites and blacks. It felt really weird having Pennywise there. But I get it, right? Big event, all the fear around. He's there just to... If you think about it, Pennywise there is just to eat. If you want to be completely blunt about it, he is there just to eat some McDonald's food, okay? He's there to eat his soul food and to leave. He don't give a shit who it is or what it look like. He hungry. That's his purpose. So it just felt weird seeing him do what he does. You know, he's munching, he's eating, the dad is rattling around him. Halloween eventually sees an Indian chief with bare skin, and eventually he talks to him. He talks to him. Now, this is the time where Halloween actually did what he didn't want to do and talk to the dead. Now, at this point, we don't know what that means. So eventually he finds a way to create a hole. And he tries to, so Ronnie, Will, and Hank goes down that hole. And then they're trying to say, what about Marge and Rich? I was like, about time. It's like everybody was so concerned about Will and Ronnie and Hank and Halloween, but no one was thinking about Marge and Rich. Like, that was bothering me really freaking bad. Like, I get it, it's panicky, everyone's scared, fires everywhere, everything is kind of just ballistic. People getting shot in the face, because as people were running out, escaping the windows, they were literally shooting down people left to freaking right. Shooting people down left to right. It was hard to see. It was hard, right? So, sorry guys, I'm probably going to tear up. So Halloween tries to go back, get Marge and Rich. Part of the roof caves in, barricades them in, locks them in, okay? They're stuck. The fire is bad, okay? And we get this last sentimental scene of, you know, a box. You know, he's like, hey, we can fit in here. Find out that's only meant for one person, but that was Rich. That was Rich's intended, like, that was intended for him. Like, to save Marge. He locks her in the box. He gets on top of the box so she can't push him off. They have this last sentimental conversation about how he just always loved her and remembered what she wore, and it was really cute. Kind of like his last goodbyes to her. You know, she says she loves him, and he kind of just, it cuts off, right? It cuts off to the outside where one of the white assholes that was trying to get away found out it was Mr. Hurst. He was trying to get his car to start, it wasn't starting. Then Mrs. Ingrid comes out in her clown outfit. So find out, yes, we confirmed that even though it didn't say it, it confirmed that she was the one that gave the tip off to where Hank was, because she was trying to see, as I mentioned, she was trying to see her father one last time, right? Or again. So she comes out of the forest. He threatens her to get back home and look presentable, or he's going to turn her black and blue. Abusive. And then she's basically said, get him, daddy, initially. So Pennywise cut his head off, munching on his like a pretzel, a soft, creamy pretzel, like delicious, right? So eventually, you know, she actually hugs Pennywise. Like, that was crazy to me. Like, this entity, this being, but also, too, he has to keep it up, right? Because you got to think about it. You know, if Ingrid is really helping him get his food, he's not going to let her go quite yet, right? So it gets to a point, he's like, well, you know, hey, I'm tired. It's time for me to go to bed. It's time for me to go bye, you know? And Ingrid's like, no, you can't abandon me. And he didn't like that, so he used the deadlights on her. He sent he sent the deadlights on her real fast. It was really a unique scene to see. So from there, after all the fire clears, we see what's left. You know, charred wood, destroyed place, and then it gets to a point to where they save Marge out of the box. And she's okay. You know, I thought she probably wasn't going to survive because she was inhaling so much smoke and she was locked in a box. You know, there's no air in that box. There were no holes. You know, I thought she would at least passed out. But she was okay. luckily. So then from there, they let her out, told her to go. And then she turns back to see what happened, because remember, he was laying on the box. So eventually she goes back over to the box to see where Rich was, and there he was, sitting on the floor. Gone, baby. He's gone, guys. That was the hardest things to see. And it's like, I get why they don't put kids in shit, and I get why they don't do a lot of things with kids, because it's hard to see. He was gone. Marge cuddled up to him, hugged him one last time. Will and Ronnie came in, did the same thing, and just seeing him there, just gone. It was hard, guys. So I'm preparing you. If you're watching this, regardless, it's hard to see. So after all that, you know, Leroy and Charlotte pulls up, comes to the kids, mainly checking on Will. That part was weird for me too. He gets orders that they're basically in deep shit, because there's civilians dead, there's military dead, there's people dead everywhere, and they're not even, like, it's not looking good, right? Halloween's over there talking in tongues and shit because he talked to the dead, and he's just basically saying, like, bro, like, I'm not okay, like, like, I'm not good, like, he's out of it, he's delulu, he's stressed, he's panicking, because all these, he says, they won't stop talking, they won't stop whispering, and it's all the dead people that literally just died in there talking in his ear, asking him what's going to happen, where we at, what are we doing, just overpowering him with everything. And that's what happens when you talk to one, you talk to them all. That's why he didn't want to do it. So eventually he tells them that he can lead them to a pillar, because he's like, we're screwed, we fucked up, everyone's dead, that people are dying left or right, there's fire, like, how are we going to explain this? We don't even got a pillar at the moment, like, we're fucking screwed. So Halloween tells Leroy and Shaw that I can lead you to the pillar, I can just follow the chief. And Leroy, it was weird, because Leroy, like, he told him in the last episode that he could see the dead. And Leroy is now acting confused that he can see the dead. Okay. So he says, hey, I can follow the war chief. It's buried where she was. I can find a pillar. So you also find out that the kids say that Hank is in the woods. Okay. So the kids leave Charlotte to the woods for Hank. She said, give me your clothes. She basically disguises to where he looked like he's dead in the fire, to kind of get the smoke off of them, to properly get him to escape, okay, without a manhunt again being after him, right? So eventually it jumps to the military digging, of course. Halloween is tweaking out in the tent, and they're like, hey, Francis comes up, he's like, go get some rest, I'm proud of you, good job. They eventually find the pillar. It was in the turtle shell. It was a big boy too. And Leroy was shocked, because they were kind of shooing him off. And he was like, I thought we said we were going to take this thing inside Derry to kind of close him in to a specific thing to where we can trap him. And they were like, oh, orders changed. Halloween said he's asleep now. So we're good. We're going to take it back and get some data off of it. And this what irritates me, guys. Like, come on now. How often do we gotta do this as a human race? Like, I know it's a trope in movies, but if you look at history too, we have this bad habit of, for one, touching shit that we shouldn't be touching and doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing. But also, we have a bad problem of when the smoke clears and the fire clears, then we think that we're gonna just take a little few things instead of correcting it. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Instead of correcting it when it's time to be corrected, regardless if everything is calm now, we have a bad problem of not fixing it when we need to fix it. We'd be like, okay, everything is clear now, so we don't have to worry about that no more. Now we can go back and do what our other agenda is. Like, it's a bad habit. If you get what I'm saying, you get it, okay, guys? That part is irritating because it's a common trope, not just in movies, but in real life. If you look at the patterns, it's annoying, okay? Okay. So they take it back to the military base. So you find out that Hank's at the house because, you know, everyone thinks he's dead. You know, he's portraying as Leroy for now because, you know, they don't want to try to figure out how a dead man is walking around. So, the main things you need to know is Charlotte basically tells Will to stay home. He's not going anywhere, okay? Charlotte and Hank leave to talk to Rose. At first, they said a friend, but eventually we find out at the end that it's Rose to help him cross the border, okay? So then, from there, we also get Daniel peeking in on the military, and he comes back home to tell Rose and Charlotte that, hey, we got a problem. And then we already probably figured that he's going to tell them about them finding the pillar. Now, what's interesting is they found, Leroy comes back and finds out that they're trying to melt it down. The same thing that's supposed to keep Pennywise within Derry, basically, keep him within this town. And they said they were going to consume him, so they was going to initially, basically, you guys remember that scene from Game of Thrones, okay? Nerd in for a moment, okay? Do you remember that scene in Game of Thrones with the Battle of the Bastards where Ramsay was literally pinning in Jon Snow's men, right? Constantly making it smaller so eventually he can slowly kill them off one by one. Poking them, stabbing them, slashing them, like that. So initially, that's what Francis in the military was supposed to do to Pennywise. Get him to a point to where he is like contained in a container or a bubble or whatever they're going to do to him. So he's locked away for good. He can't eat. He can't do nothing. That's what Leroy thought. And Leroy's still thinking that it was about Russia. You idiot. No, it never was about Russia. Okay? And you find out because Leroy he pulls a gun on everybody. He's like, no, pull it out, and I don't blame him. He's trying to stick up because what are you doing? This is the thing that's going to prevent people from dying and kids getting killed. Like, come on now. And then Francis eventually tells everybody to put the guns down. He explains that he doesn't want to control it. He wants to let it loose. He wants to use Pennywise fear to control political issues. So if everybody is looking out for each other, defending each other, and protecting each other because of something, right? Fear, then no one will worry about rioting and race wars and civil issues. They will be worried about not being munched on like a cracker. So Francis' full agenda was to use him as a weapon for America. Just imagine Pennywise wrapped in an American flag. The hell? Do you understand the casualties for political issues when we just corrected the way we should have corrected it before? So then eventually he basically tells Leroy backs off. He's like, he has nothing but to say. He basically disarms him by saying, hey, go ahead. There's no point in telling him because it's going to be melted down before anybody ever knows that it existed. You know? So from there, Leroy leaves. He orders shots to not let him leave the base, so Leroy's in danger now. He put a target on his back. And then the big whoa, right? We see Pennywise in a puddle of blood, body parts, and toys. That sounds like a weird, crazy-ass Christmas, doesn't it? And he's sleeping. He's chilling in his blood. But then he wakes up. Because he probably realized something's different. Right? Something is really different. So, from there, right, from there, Will gets a call at home. Now, keep in mind, nobody's at home. Not Leroy, not Charlotte, nobody. He gets a call from Ronnie, and she's talking about, oh my gosh, you remember what he looked like, his body, I'm so sad, you know. This is like normal conversation, and he's apologizing because he couldn't come because of his mother, right? Next thing you know it gets twisted. He says, oh, I wonder, you know, basically what he tastes like. Oh, his body, you know. She started talking crazy, and he knew immediately who it was, and he flips out on him. He sticks up for himself. He's like, I'm not scared of you. This is not, you know, he gives Pennywise an ear, and Pennywise is loving it, because in the mix of him sticking up for himself is fear. He turns around, and he's sitting on the refrigerator like an old Derry cat, just chilling. And he lunges at Will and uses the deadlights against him. And as far as we know, Will is gone. Will is gone. So Francis, dumbass, didn't even realize what he fucking did. He let the cat out of the bag. Now he's free to do what the fuck he wants. He's not asleep right now. That makes me wonder why he's not asleep, because he's done for now. But I guess we'll find out in the last episode. There's only one episode, guys, left. There's only 8, not 10. Only 8. So the things that you need to know is Francis's big plan is to use Pennywise as a political power. Leroy and Charlotte and Will. Leroy and Charlotte wants to just leave. They want to protect their family. They don't want to worry about anything else, but Leroy's trying to get it straight first. One of the pillars, as far as we know of, might be melted down. We'll see if it actually is, but if he's out of the bag, most likely it's melted. It's gone. Lily is aware that Rich is gone. They were cleaning up his toys at the spot. Everyone's very sentimental and sad. Rest in peace, Rich. That episode hurt my heart greatly. Halloween can see the dead, and the dead is talking to him like Christmas morning. All in his ear, making him paranoid as fuck. We don't know if the black spot is ever going to get justice, because let's be real, everyone just feels like they're shoving it underneath the rug. I do agree, take care of what's important, but also don't let this slide neither. Too many innocent people, and Rich has died for this. I get it's a show, guys. You probably think you're taking it too serious. I know, but it's true. I'm passionate about this thing, guys. I warn y'all ahead of time, okay? And Pennywise got Will. Ingrid was dead-lighted, but they showed a scene where she was getting taken on the gurney, and she kind of looked at them. So we don't know if she's actually been dead-lighted or if she's just fucking cuckoo bird at this point. Guys, that was episode 7. I had to tell you right from the jump while it was fresh. That's everything. That's important. What do y'all think? I want your honest opinion. If you watch it, what do y'all think? Did Pennywise seem weird in certain parts, or did it felt just fine? Like, honestly, tell me what y'all think. But that's it for this episode. This one touched me a lot. This one hurt my heart a lot, as I already mentioned before. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I will see you all very soon. I will see you guys tomorrow in another video. Have a wonderful day. Tune in, like, share. You know what to do. It's free, guys. It helps the channel. 80% of you guys are not subscribed. You'll watch my videos remotely, and it hurts my channel greatly. So I would greatly appreciate it if you click on it to watch it all the way through. That being said, Silentpinkgamer out, and I will see you all soon. Bye.